Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be doing part one of what's going to end up being a two-part wrap-up for the books that I've read from May through September. I realize it's almost the end of October, but I anticipate getting back into monthly wrap-ups after this month, hopefully. And hopefully I can get these both filmed before the end of October so they can both go out before the end of October, because there's going to be a lot of books to talk about. Now, I'm not someone who reads. I know there's booktubers out there who read like 15 books in a month plus, and this is a normal wrap up for them. But these 16 books I'm going to talk about in this video are over the course of a few months. They're in the order I read them. I can't necessarily, I don't remember which months I read them in. Somewhere between May and September. So I can guarantee that these first ones, I'm not going to remember a lot of, most likely. I don't have notes. I've been not doing any Goodreads, like written Goodreads reviews, other than just a star rating this year. I was really, really good about it last year, and then I completely just fell off. Completely just stopped doing it. I need to actually write some thoughts down, because otherwise things like this happen where I don't remember a lot of the, like, I remember whether I liked the book or didn't like the book, but I couldn't tell you anything pretty much other than that. Altogether, both videos that are going to come out have a total of 33 books that I read between May and September. There's going to be 16 in this one, and then I'll do the rest in the next video. Hi, what are you doing? Say hi, Soph. I just realized she was sitting there, and she was sitting there the whole time. Brina's up here. I don't know if you can... Brina is there, going up the tree. And Amber is gonna go bother her. And then Oliver's over there in the corner. So, I don't know where Tyler is. He's probably on my bed somewhere. But anyway, we always need to interrupt for a pet break. Also, my camera, my tripod is not sitting level, so this video is probably going to be lopsided, but whatever. It's fine. I have other problems than that. So, yeah, I don't remember what I was saying. I completely got sidetracked by the animals. Hopefully I can remember some stuff. If not, it is what it is. I wasn't even going to film this video, but I kind of felt like I did the haul for all the books, or most of the books, that I acquired in those months. So I figured I might as well do a wrap up, let you guys know what I've been reading, what I read over the summer and beginning of fall. And yeah, because I feel like it would just be weird to have like empty space, even though I think I've done that in the past. Like I'll disappear for a few months and then come back. Anyway, we're gonna get started. So the first book I'm going to talk about, again, this is the first book I read in, I guess, May, is actually a novella, and it's part of the Naughty Brits anthology, and that is A Duke Worth Falling For by Sarah McLean. It was the first novella in this anthology. I gave it 4 stars. This one is a celebrity photographer and a British royal. I think he's a duke or something. And so I think he had a, I think this is the one where he had a bad, like a very public divorce or a breakup or something, and he's kind of like wants to be on his own, and she has a friend who like rented out the cottage on his property, and he thinks, because she's a photographer, he thinks that she's there snooping into his life or something. I think that's what this is about. I give it 4 stars because I thought it was cute. That's that one. That's what I got to say about that. I actually think I remembered more than I anticipated. Then after that, I read Wraith by Frances Storm, which is the first book of the Iron Kings MC series. And this one I gave 3 stars, but I think it's probably more of like a 2.5. 2. I forget who she is. I think this one was the... Oh God, I can't remember. I don't remember what happens in this. I mean, I remember flashes of scenes, and I remember thinking that it was like not the best written thing, especially because I've read other motorcycle clubs books that were a lot better. This one was just a little bit, I couldn't even, I don't remember. I just know it wasn't what I expected it to be. It wasn't as good as I hoped it would be. So it got like a 2.5, 3-star. If this is how this is going to go, this is going to be painful for me and you, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But I figure at least I'll talk about what I've been reading. After that, I read The London Seance Society by Sarah Penner. I actually started reading it, and then I found out my Hoopla had the audiobook, so I listened to the rest of it. I ended up giving this one 4 stars. I don't remember the ending of this, like, at all. Did I like the ending of this? I think there was a twist at the end of this, y'all, this is terrible. Not the book. My brain not remembering. Because I think some of these books I probably listened to very quickly, and I don't retain as much since I read them months and months and months ago. I gave it 4 stars. I enjoyed it. It took me a little bit to get into because there's back and forth, there's different POVs. And it goes like from like a week ago to present or something like that. So I did enjoy this one though. The 4-star rating speaks to that. Then I did a reread of Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo because, so I read this physically the first time through. I listened to it on audio the second time through because I wanted to read Hellbent after it and never got to it. So that was kind of a waste because now it's months later and still haven't read Hellbent. I gave the reread 4 stars. There was a lot of this that I forgot happened. Like, I remember snippets of things happening, but as I'm reading it, I'm like, oh. Like, I remember really liking the ghost guy. What the heck was his name? The bridegroom, I think is who it is. I remember him being so entertaining. I don't remember him ever talking in this, but he does. Like, he has lines, like, toward the end, and I'm just like, oh. I don't remember that. But I still enjoyed it. The Dark Academia. The beginning was still rough to get through. It's still boring. The beginning of it's still boring to me. Like the first 150 pages are just like slogging through it. But once you get like into the heart of it, it's really good. I really enjoyed it. Okay. Then I read a lot of audiobooks at the beginning of the year because I only have like 7 physical books out of the 16 I'm going to talk about. So I listened to over half on audio. And now we're starting to my audio binge. So I don't remember what the series is called, but it was Sweet Mercy by K.A. Tucker. I didn't write authors down. I think it's K.A. Tucker. If I'm wrong, I'm so sorry. I'll put the books up here on the screen so you can see what I'm talking about. These were not, I don't want to say they weren't the greatest things. They were entertaining. It was because I was listening to them at work, this series. I was listening to it at work. It was easy listening. I could listen on like 2.7 speed and still like follow along what was happening. It was entertaining. There was a lot of drama going on. I feel like this was like 50 Shades era stuff. I honestly don't know that for sure, but it felt like that kind of drama. So we had Sweet Mercy, I gave 3 stars. The sequel to that is Gabriel Fallen, also gave 3 stars. The third book, Dirty Empire, I gave 4 stars. That one has some crazy shit happen. I can't remember because I listened to them back to back to back. So I don't remember which events happened in what book. But I remember the third one, I was like, this is so good. Like the drama that happened in that book. And then the 4th book of the series, Fallen Empire, I gave 3 stars. I remember like the ending, the wrap up, I was kind of like, eh. It was an eh. And then after that, I read the short story by Kay Webster, Daddy Read, which is it sets up for the new series in the Wild series, or the Wild World. The Wild is the incestual book by Kay Webster that I read last year, I think. I still have not read the free. I need to read the free because, well, not because, but Daddy Read is the kids from the Wild, and then you get this, I can't remember what the book after it's called. I think it's been released already. I haven't been keeping up with that. But then there's another one that's one of the children's story. And I don't remember if it's a sibling incest. I don't... it's more got me curious than anything, that whole series. I didn't necessarily rate it. I didn't rate The Wild either, I believe, because I wasn't sure how to rate it. But Daddy Read as well. It was just a short, like, story. I don't even know how many pages it was. It was free on her website. I believe you can get it. So I read that. We're just gonna leave it at that. Then we get into this trilogy, Cartel by Lily St. Germain. Found it on a whim on Hoopla. I was done listening to the K.A. Tucker series. Cartel was fucking crazy. That I don't remember if that's the name of the trilogy, but I gave Cartel 4 stars. Insane. It was insane. Kingpin, the second book in that trilogy, 5 stars. Shit was crazy. Cartel was one of those that, like, her father was like a mule or like a runner for the cartel, and he loses a shipment. I don't remember if it was drugs. I think it was drugs. I think the DEA, one of the government agencies, caught it. And so as payment, they take the daughter. Something like that. And she's like, becomes like a prisoner to the guy running. It's weird because he's like also part of the MC. Or the MC. So she has another series. I don't remember what the series is called. I think it's Seven Sons. Is the MC series that goes along with Cartel. It's a whole thing. I have to explain it more because I do read the first book of that series, I think later on in here somewhere. I don't know what the series... Okay, the novella is called Seven Sons. I don't know what the actual series is called. Anyway, we're gonna knock. That's gonna be in the next video. But Kingpin was 5 stars. And then in between there, as I was listening to these at work, I read, finally, When Villains Rise by Gianna Darling. This is book 2 of the Anti-Heroes in Love duet. The first one being When Heroes Fall, which I talked about, I think, in my previous wrap-up. I don't know. I ended up giving this one 5 stars. And I give this one 5 stars because I love Dante Salvatore. I mean, Elena's fine. I'm not like the biggest Elena fan. I never really was. But I love Dante. I've loved him since he came on page in the first series. Was it Enthralled? I don't remember if he was in... I haven't read Evolution of Sin, which is the other sister. I don't know if he's in that one. I do have it to read, but I haven't read it. But I love Dante Salvatore. I was so hyping this book. So excited for it. A little bit... Realistically, this is probably a 4.5. It should be a 4-star. Because it didn't quite live up to my expectation. It was a little bit more, because I remember saying in the first book that there was a lot of like lawyer courtroom stuff that I'm like, I don't care. This one, they get out of the courtroom, they get out of New York, they're in Italy, they end up going back to New York later on. But like, I was anticipating all the stuff that was going to happen in this book that I hoped would happen in the first book, but that was all built up to this book. So yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. Didn't quite live up entirely to where I wanted it to be, but I think that's because I had such super, super high expectation for it that it came under my expectation. If I would have just had like a normal expectation for it, I think it would have been fine. So 4.5. I still love the Gianna Darling's writing. It's so like lyrical and beautiful, and sometimes it gets a little bit a lot at times, like heavy, but it's beautiful writing. It's so great. Okay, and then I finished the 3rd book of that Cartel series by Lily St. Germain, Empire. Gave that 5 stars. That book was fucking nuts. Fucking nuts. Especially the end, because there's like a love triangle sort of situation, and like she has a thing for one guy. He turns into being like a villainous character, and she's with like the other guy, and then some shit happens to the that series is wild. And I will say there's a lot of triggers, a lot of triggers. So absolutely go into that looking at it. But if you're into like seriously, it's a dark romance. Like it is dark. The epitome of a dark romance. Definitely look at triggers. I do remember there are some very painful scenes. I don't remember if it's in the second or the third book, with an infant death. It's hard. But okay, so that was so Cartel, now that I'm remembering, Cartel was the first trilogy, and then what happens in the third book is a catalyst for the next series, the Seven Sons series. I don't remember whatever the series is called. So, yeah, that is why I started those. And those books are short. Those are like novellas. There's like 7 novellas instead of like full length books. But oh my god, y'all, oh my god, crazy. I have to like go back and like I want to get like physical copies of that series and reread it because I was listening to it at work. So I want to get like physical and slow it down so I can really absorb and pay attention more. But I just remembered like the insanity of everything that happened in those books. It was wild. Okay, then I again listened to The Devil by Ashley Jade, or A Jade, whatever she's under. Again on Hoopla, and I gave that one 4 stars. That was a novella. I think Devil's Advocate is the second book, and that one's a full length. Again, not what I was expecting. I expected the devil to be like, honestly, to be the devil. He wasn't really the devil. But I think it was a bully romance is what it was, if I'm remembering correctly. And it was MF or MFM. I don't remember which one's which. MFM, MFF, whatever. I do remember the ending being crazy. Because I think it sets up for Devil's Advocate. Yes, the ending was, yes, I do remember the ending. It sets up for the other book. Yeah. Yeah. And then again, I listened to, finally, Ice Planet Barbarians by Ruby Dixon. I gave this 4 stars. It was quick. The audio, I think, was like 5 hours. It was under 6 hours. And I listened to it on 2 times speed, so I listened to it in like 2.5-ish hours. I get it. I'm going to say this. I get it now. I understand the blue alien love. I'm late to the party, per usual, but I read this and I was like, you get to meet glimpses of who the other couples might be. Definitely the other women, the other heroines in the other books. And I'm just like, oh, like I can get behind this. Especially there was like, I think it's book 3 or 4 I was really looking forward to. And my Hoopla has, I think, all of them on audio. And I'm like, well, this could be a time. Something quick and easy for me to listen to that's entertainment value. It has top notch. But yeah, I get it now. So this one was, what did I say? I think they said this was 4 stars. But yeah, Ice Planet Barbarians. I was really happy to finally get that checked off my list because it had been on there for a while. And the final book I'm going to talk about in this video is going to be Ghost by A. Zevarelli. This is book 3? Yes. 3 in the Boston Underworld series. This I gave 4 stars. I was so highly anticipating this book because you meet the heroine, Talia. You hear of her in the previous... I think she was the best friend of the heroine in book 1. Yes. Yes, she was the best friend of the heroine in book 1. You find out what happens to her, and then you find out that they sent Alexei to, like, get her. I don't know if to give spoilers, but I mean, this series is old enough now. I think if you haven't read it, most people, you all know. If you have, you all know what happens. But I was so highly anticipating this book. It does, so it overlaps a lot. I think it overlaps with book 1. Because there is a scene that you see from Talia's point of view that you see as the other, I can't remember what the girl's name is in the first book. You see it from her point of view in the first book. Then you get it from Talia's point of view in this book. So I think those 2 books actually overlap. Events overlap. But what gave it 4 stars was it wasn't quite like I wanted more from it. We'll put it like that. This was the one I was most highly anticipating, just for the angst value, and it didn't really, the beginning was there. The beginning got me. And then I started to like, okay, this isn't exactly what I expected it to be sort of situation, but I still really, really highly enjoyed it. I still want to finish this series. I do have Saint, and then I have to get Thief and Connor, and then I'll have that complete series completed. And I do have one of the books in her other series. I think that's after this one. I don't know. I have so many books to read. But that's a quick wrap up. That was 16 books in less than a half an hour, which I wish I had like more to talk about with some of them. But as we get further down the list, closer to recent times, I should have more to say, hopefully. Looking at this list, I know I definitely have more to say about definitely like the last few. So yeah, there's that. Also, my October reading has not been quite as, I haven't been reading a lot. I think I've read maybe 4 books so far, and it's like it's like October 20th right now. So I haven't been reading a whole lot, but that'll make doing wrap-ups a lot easier if I go back to doing monthly ones. I know I was doing bi-monthly for a while, which was fine, but like I didn't have as much content to share with you guys, so I don't know. But yeah, so that's it. That's all she wrote. Not quite all she wrote, but that's for this part, that's all she wrote. Actually, I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks this year. This has been like the audiobook year. I haven't been in a physical reading mood really. Lately I have been, but like at the beginning of the year I was not in the mood at all. So yeah, okay, I'm gonna shut up now and go do other things that I needed to do today besides film this. So that's gonna be it. Look for part 2 coming out hopefully before the end of the month, so I can keep myself on track. I never know how to close out. You'd think by now I would have figured out how to close out my videos, and I still don't. I do the same thing every time, but that's just because it's become habit now, even though I don't really like the way I do it. But yeah. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!